The ITER Show is executive produced by CQB, hosted by Tartarus, and sponsored by SC, Bradley's Pizzeria, ITER Asylum, and any other ITER-affiliated business. This broadcast may not be taken, redistributed, or used without the express written consent of ITER. ITER, go gold!
Welcome back to the Eater Show. Today I'm joined by Will. Today we're going to talk about how his industry's transitioning from Sky City to Gaia mainly, but we're also going to ask him a couple of other things because Tar's not here today. That sucks, but we'll deal with it. We usually do. Will, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just sitting around waiting for something to happen.
Well, it's happening all right here on a Saturday. Will, Gaia has become a center point for the server at this point, has it not? Tell us how Pawn's operations have drawn you away from Sky City. Why, other words, why did you move away from Sky City and towards Gaia?
So, just to understand, your question is why am I moving towards Gaia and away from the SCF?
Correct.
Okay. Basically, Gaia is more focused on literally being connected to the ground and having those core beliefs of a Minecraft and video game because that's just something Sky City doesn't have. You cannot mine or craft within Sky City. And the way that chanting is moving forward in Sky City is it basically an economic mini game server, which really sucks because why would you want to come home from a long day of work or school just to work more to have the right to play video games on a video game? We want to focus more on the whole you're getting to do whatever you want when you want to. So it's a little less restricted, but it's still controlled well like a government. We're moving towards the more nation server-esque of the server because that's where we think it belongs.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, like, instead of being something that's more functional, like realistic as Sky City is with, the tag systems that are being implemented, whatnot, you guys want to move towards something that's more decentralized, is what you're saying.
Define decentralized.
Well, I mean, you're moving away from government, you're moving away from politics, right? Or am I wrong on that? Because that's very possible. I could be misunderstanding.
Well, we do want to move towards a nation server, but preferably, yes, we would move further away from politics because that's usually where all the problems then, where it's just arguments between politicians and they usually get banned or they start bombing people because of an argument. So we are trying to move towards more focusing on our citizens and stuff. So away from politics, yes.
But does that also include the industrial landscape of the server? Because I know in the past, CC and Fishco, along with you, shaped the industrial landscape of Sky City. Is that still going to apply to Gaia moving forward?
Okay. Here's some background for how the industrial part of Gaia is going to work. For Big Pawn, actually no, I shouldn't start there. I should explain that Gaia is not a nation made up of only one city like the SCF is. It is hopefully going to be something made up of at least two known cities that are going to be made once I get back on the server because I have no game pass at the moment. Does anyone want to do a charity fund for Will? Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that Gaia has multiple cities, which are probably going to be governed by their own like leader. For example, I want to make another city that's more monarchy based, but of course it's going to be less of a problem of a monarchy. Meaning I want to be like the Queen Elizabeth of the server, where I'm loved by my citizens and not hated and less tyrannical. Um So that's where the industrial aspect comes in. It's gonna be more focused on their own cities. So I'm gonna be focusing on my industry in my city, and Han is gonna do whatever he wants in his city. But we're all part of a larger nation. Okay? Does that make sense?
does, but I'm starting to be a little bit confused. That is a large concept of Sky City districts in the SCS. I don't really see a huge difference between that. But I mean, I guess we'll see how things work going forward. Obviously, like whenever we plan the SCS, our ideas for districts were something that like could be scattered, but because of the 10-player count on the server, like it's something that we have to focus on one district at a time. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So I don't know. Have you ever considered that to maybe be a problem for your like two city idea?
I don't envision it as a problem. I just see it as if you want to live in one place or another, you're able to, but you're essentially going to be following the same guidelines if you want that Gaia is focused on. More freedom, being able to play a video game, being able to do what you want, really. Unlike in Sky City, where if you're assigned to a district, you're forced to do whatever they tell you to do. Like, for example, like if I was more tyrannical in the industrial area of the industrial district, I'd probably say something like, "Oh, you have to work and you have to do this." But since Gaia is more focused on volunteer work and contributing to the whole, you're more if you're going to go mining, then here, have a few extra tools that we have lying around and go and drop them off in like a community storage or something. Or if you want to put them in your own house, then that's fine too. Does that make more sense to your question?
It does. So, from my understanding, this is a socialist sort of group of organization that's
I I
highly
guess
decentralized.
I guess you could say that. I guess it also reflects your what's going on with or what hold on. What was it called? Give me a second. Let me look it up. It was what's that type video where it explains the politics of the
Especially
server.
Politics 101.
Yeah, SC Politics 101. It basically reflects my semi-communist personality type on my industrial politics, I guess. So maybe that has a point in it, I guess.
By the way, that's a reminder to everyone viewing. The full server survival switch will occur July 17th, 2025. So be ready for that. Once again, Will, are you guys planning to move into that? Is this a part of is this collectivization in some sort of way a preparation for that? I mean, I would assume it is.
It is definitely going to be preparing to for the survival switch, but in a way we already wanted to go for that. Um because not how do I phrase this? Really, we don't want to be reliant on people doing things for each other, like admins giving each other resources to build, which is just really dumb and inefficient because that means you can't run a server without admins. And if you give people creative, then it opens more opportunities for griefing and bad players to hop on to just cause maniacal activities, I guess. So in a way, yeah, we are preparing for the survival switch.
Honestly, it's long overdue. I think we've kinda all in some way, like, mm, wanted it to happen, like, you know what I mean? Like, we've wanted it to happen, but we've had some level of hesitation because of, I mean, well, Sky City.
Yeah.
I think another problem that we've also had is a lot of our building duplication. If you haven't noticed, I feel like we have a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
buildings that look the same, which isn't a bad thing. There's a lot of diffusion from our older societies, of course. So,
Yeah.
well, Will, that's all I have for you. That's all the questions I have. Is there anything you want to add, um, at all?
Um, I just something I the voice crack. Something I want to get across is that if I do get on before the survival switch, I may or may not use my creative one last time to build something just for fun. because I know that there's gonna be a lot of tight resources. So I apologize to anyone if you see that as duping from creative, but I just like to have fun building in creative, and I like to share it with the server, okay? That's all I have for today.
All right, Will, thanks so much. Guys, thank you for joining me on the Eater Show. Our next one's gonna be live. It's gonna be fun. You should join us. It's gonna be our season finale. I haven't decided if we're gonna choose Maki or Tar, or maybe Will. Will could be a two-timer, two back to back. I don't think we've ever had that. So, all right.
No.
This has been the Eater Show. Thank you for watching.